Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to the respected panel examiners and my lecturer. My name is Mika Edenish bin Muhammad Adlan. My student ID is 2024881548. Today I would like to present my research proposal entitled The Effects of Post-Activation Potentiation on Maximum Strength Performance in Recreationally Trained Participants. So throughout this presentation, I will explain the background of the study, the research problem, objectives, methodology, expected outcomes, and the significance of this research. Without further delay, I would like to begin my presentation. These are the contents that I will be presenting today. I will begin with the background and problem statement, followed by the research objectives, literature review, research methodology, expected outcomes, and finally the references. So the title of my research is The Effects of Post-Activation Potentiation on Maximum Strength Performance in Recreationally Trained Participants. The study focuses on determining whether applying a post-activation potentiation protocol can improve maximum upper body strength measured using bench press 1 repetition maximum test. Strength is one of the most important components of physical fitness and sport performance. 1 repetition maximum or 1 RM is commonly used to measure maximum strength. Another important concept is post-activation potentiation or PAP, which is a warm-up method performed before the main activity to temporarily improve muscle performance. Although PAP has been widely studied, its effectiveness in improving maximum strength is still inconsistent, especially among recreationally trained individuals. Therefore, the study uses the bench press 1RM as the measurement of maximal strength. So previous studies reported that PAP can temporarily improve muscular performance after performing a high-intensity conditioning activity. PAP has been shown to improve force production, power output, and neuromuscular activation. However, the effectiveness of PAP depends on several factors such as training status, exercise intensity, and recovery duration. Because of the different factors, previous findings remain inconsistent, creating the need for further research. So for problem statement, there are 3 main problems identified in this study. First, previous study reported inconsistent findings regarding the effectiveness of PAP. Second, most studies focus on explosive performance such as sprinting, jumping, and power rather than maximum strength performance. Third, only limited studies have investigated PAP among recreationally trained individuals. Therefore, the study aims to fill this research gap. So, the purpose of the study is to investigate whether post-activation potentiation can improve maximum strength performance among recreationally trained participants. Specifically, the study compares bench press 1 RM maximum performance before and after applying the PAP protocol. So based on the purpose of the study, there are 3 research options. Firstly, what is the bench press 1 RM before the PAP protocol? Second, what is the bench press 1 RM after the PAP protocol? Finally, is there a significant difference between both measurements? So the objectives are directly related to the research questions. First is to determine bench press 1 RM before PAP. Second, to determine bench press 1 RM after PAP. Third, to compare both results and determine whether PAP produce a significant improvement. So the study consists of 2 hypotheses. First, the null hypothesis states that there is no significant difference in bench press 1 RM performance before and after PAP protocol. Meanwhile, the alternative hypothesis states that there is a significant difference. So the study is expected to provide evidence regarding the effectiveness of PAP as a warm-up strategy. The findings may assist coaches and strength trainers in designing more effective warm-up programs. It may also help recreationally trained individuals improve their maximum strength safely. Finally, this research can contribute to future studies related to PAP. So for scope and limitations, this study focused on male and female recreationally trained participants aged between 18 and 40 years. Participants must have at least 6 months of resistance training experience and train at least 2 sessions per week. Maximum strength will be measured using bench press 1RM before and after performing one set of 3 repetitions at 85% of the estimate 1RM, followed by 8 minutes of passive recovery. However, the study is limited to 34 participants recruited using convenient sampling. Factors such as sleep, nutrition, motivation, and daily fatigue cannot be fully controlled. Therefore, the findings cannot be generalized to athletes. So, previous literature suggests that PAP may improve force production, neuromuscular activation, motor unit requirement, and maximum strength performance. However, factors such as recovery duration, exercise intensity, and training status greatly influence its effectiveness. This explains why previous studies reported different findings. Most previous studies investigate PAP using sprint, jump, and power performance, mainly involving elite athletes. Very few studies focus on bench press 1 repetition maximum performance among recreationally trained individuals. Therefore, this research aims to fulfill this gap by focusing specifically on recreationally lifters. So in this study, as you can see, this is a conceptual framework. The independent variable is post-activation potentiation. The dependent variable is bench press 1 repetition maximum performance. And several control variables are maintained, including age, sex, recovery time, training experience, and lifting load to ensure fair comparison. So for research design, this study uses a one-group pretest and a pro-test experimental design. Participants will first complete a bench press 1RM pretest. Next, they will perform the PAP protocol. After an 8 passive recovery period, participants will complete the bench press 1RM post-test. Finally, the collected data will be analyzed statistically to determine whether there is a significant improvement. So the target population consists of recreationally trained males and females aged between 18 and 40 years. Participants will be recruited from Anytime Fitness using convenient sampling. All participants must have at least 6 months of resistance training experience and train at least 2 sessions per week, as I have mentioned before. So the required sample size was calculated using G-Power. Based on a pair samples t-test with an effect size of 0.50 and a significance level of 0.05 and a statistical power of 0.80. The minimum required sample size is 34 participants. So, inclusion and exclusion criteria. Firstly, to participate, individuals must be healthy males and females aged between 18 and 40 years. They must have at least 6 months of resistance training experience, train at least 2 times per week, and be familiar with bench press exercise. Participants with injuries, recent surgery, cardiovascular disease, neurological disorders will be excluded to ensure safety during testing. For research procedure, the study begins with participant requirement and informed consent. Participants had then complete a standardized warm-up before performing the bench press 1RM pretest. Next, they perform the PAP protocol consisting of one set of 3 repetitions at 85% estimated 1RM. After an 8-minute passive recovery period, participants complete the bench press 1RM post-test. Finally, all the data collected and analyzed statistically. Next, data collection and data analysis. Data collection involves recording each participant's bench press 1 repetition maximum before and after the PAP protocol. The differences between the 2 scores will then be analyzed using a pair sample t-test to determine whether the PAP protocol produces a statistically significant improvement in the maximum strength. So, the expected outcome. It is expected that the participant will demonstrate an improvement in bench press 1RM performance after performing the PAP protocol. If the results support the hypothesis, the study will provide evidence that PAP can be used an effective warm-up strategy for recreationally trained individuals. So next, these are the references used to support this research proposal. So that is all. So that concludes my proposal presentation. Thank you very much to the respected panels, examiners, and my lecturer for your time, attention, and valuable consideration. I sincerely welcome any questions, comment, or any suggestions regarding my proposed research. So that is all. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.